Hello guys, in this video we'll be solving Cambridge IGCSE Biology Paper 1 Multiple Choice Core Syllabus October-November 20 question paper number 13. Question number 1. The diagram shows some of the process carried out by living organism. Light energy, green plant is converting the light energy and then producing waste products. Okay, and then it is consumed by chicken, so definitely that is feeding or nutrition. And the chicken is also releasing carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, which is waste, so that is respiration. Which two characteristics of living organism are represented by arrows X and Y? So X represent nutrition and Y represent excretion. Option B. According to the binomial system, how should a human be named? Well, we know according to the binomial system, human has a two-part name, Homo sapiens. The first part is written with capital letter, Homo, and the second part, sapiens, must be written with a lowercase letter and in italics. So option B is the correct answer. Which is a feature of cell used to place organism in plant kingdom? Well, in order for a particular plant to become be in the plant kingdom, it must definitely have chloroplast. The photomicrograph shows a cell from a type of aquatic plant. Which parts labeled on the photomicrograph indicate that this is a plant cell? A plant cell is indicated by chloroplast, so S, and Q, which is a cell wall. So Q and S. Option D is the correct answer. Which cell is adapted for absorption? As we can see, a cell that is adapted for absorption must have a very large surface area. And D is a root hair cell. And the hair increases its surface area. So option D is the correct answer. The cell shown in the diagram has been magnified 3000 times. The diagram is 21 millimeter wide. What is the actual diameter of the cell? The actual diameter of the cell, in order to find it out, we have to do magnification is equals to image divided by actual, and actual is equals to image divided by magnification. The image is 21 millimeter and the magnification is 3000 times. So 21 millimeter divided by 3000. Option B is the correct answer. What are features of osmosis? We know osmosis is the movement of water from a region of high water potential to a region of low water potential. And diffusion is definitely involved in osmosis. It does not require a cell membrane, so cross for them. It requires a partially permeable membrane, definitely. So option A is the correct answer. The diagram shows apparatus which can be used to demonstrate osmosis. We can see glass tube 1 and 2. Both contains very concentrated sucrose solution and concentrated sucrose solution with a partially permeable membrane. After 1 hour, what would happen to the liquid levels in the glass tubes? Since they contain sucrose with partially permeable membrane, the sucrose won't be able to get out, but water will be able to get in. So liquid level in tube 1 will definitely rise. Liquid level in tube 2 will also rise. So option D is the correct answer. Which substances are made by linking together glucose molecules only? When linking together glucose molecules only, it will produce cellulose, glycogen, and starch. It will not produce fat or protein or oils. So option A is the correct answer. The graph shows the effect of pH on the rate of reaction of an enzyme. We can see at pH 7, this particular enzyme has the highest rate of reaction. What does the graph show? The enzyme is destroyed at pH 9. Well, the enzyme has still some amount of rate of reaction at pH 9, so not completely destroyed. The enzyme works best at pH 6. We can see the enzyme works best at pH 7. So also a wrong statement. The rate of reaction halves as the pH changes from 5 to 7. When the pH changes from 5 to 7, actually the rate of reaction increases. So wrong statement. The rate of reaction is the same at pH 5 and pH 8.5. So at pH 5, the rate of reaction is similar to rate of reaction at pH 8.5. So this is a correct statement. Option D is correct. What kind of molecule is an enzyme? Guys, we know that an enzyme is a protein. The diagram shows a cell with groups of bacteria around its edge. We can see the spiral-shaped chloroplast, the cell cytoplasm, and bacteria. The bacteria move to areas of high concentration. Which process in the cell causes bacteria to form these groups? Guys, we know photosynthesis produces oxygen as a byproduct. So definitely photosynthesis will be the reason why the bacteria clusters near the chloroplast. The diagram shows part of a leaf. We can see X. X is spongy mesophyll cell. So the layer X is spongy mesophyll. Option C is the correct answer. Which stage of nutrition takes place when food molecules become part of a body cell? We know when food molecules becomes part of a body cell, this is known as assimilation. So option B is the correct answer. The diagram shows part of the alimentary canal and associated organs. Which labeled part stores bile? Now we can see D is liver, A is stomach, B is pancreas, and C is gallbladder. Now, bile is produced by the liver, but it is stored in the gallbladder. So option C, gallbladder, will be the correct answer. Which human teeth are used for biting and cutting food? For biting and cutting food, humans use their incisors and canines for grabbing. So biting and cutting food will be incisors and canines. Molars are used for crushing food. Premolars are also used for crushing foods. So that's why molars A, C, D are wrong. In which order does water pass through the structures in a plant? Well, water never enters the mesophyll cell at first. So water enters the root hair cell, but it cannot go to the mesophyll directly. It must go from root hair cell to xylem and then xylem to mesophyll. So option D is correct. A decrease in which factor normally causes the transpiration rate to increase? Transpiration rate increases if humidity decreases in the surrounding air. Then basically water from the region of high water potential, which is inside the water inside the leaf, moves into the surrounding. All right, so 18, option A is correct. In a mammal, what ensures the blood flow one way round the circulatory system? Now, we know that if the blood needs to flow one way, you must have valves for allowing it to move in one way. So option D is correct. Which structure separates the right and left side of the heart? The right and left side of the heart is separated by the region called, the separation occurs by the region called septum. So option D is the correct answer. Lyme disease is a disease which can be transmitted to humans in the following way. A mouse carries the bacteria Borrelia burgdorferi in its blood. A tick bites the mouse and the bacteria are transferred into the tick. The tick bites a human and the bacteria are transferred to the human. The human becomes infected with Lyme disease. What is the pathogen in this process? Well, the pathogen is still the Borrelia burgdorferi. So option B is the correct answer. All right, now the mouse and the tick, they are basically carriers or vectors. Question number 22. The diagram shows some of the structures in a human lung. What is the carbon dioxide where is the carbon dioxide concentration highest? From pulmonary artery. We know that blood entering the lungs coming from the pulmonary artery has the highest concentration of deoxygenated blood. So B is the correct answer. What is produced by anaerobic respiration in yeast? We know that when anaerobic respiration in yeast occurs, it produces alcohol and it produces carbon dioxide. So alcohol and carbon dioxide. Lactic acid will be wrong. Alcohol and carbon dioxide only will be correct. Water is also not produced. The amount of urea in the blood increases as it passes through the organ X. What is organ X? Now we know that liver is responsible for the process of deamination. Now deamination produces urea. So definitely when the blood passes through liver, it will be higher in concentration with urea. Sensory neuron conduct impulses from. Now sensory neuron it conducts impulses from the brain and spinal cord. No. Sense organ to another sense organ. No. Sense organ to the brain and spinal cord. Yes. All right. Sensory neuron takes the information from the sense organ to the brain for processing. So option C is correct. Muscles to sense organ is motor neuron, so also not a correct option. 26. What is function of cornea? Cornea carries impulses to the brain. No, cornea does not contain any light sensitive cells or any receptors. Contains light sensitive receptors. No. Controls how much light enters the eye. No. Refracts the light. Yes, cornea is responsible for refracting the light. Which processes are shown by the root of a plant? Gravitropism. Yes, it shows positive gravitropism. It grows towards the gravity. And phototropism. It shows negative phototropism because it grows away from the stimulus, light. So C is correct. Which is a definition of all drugs? Well, a drugs is a substance that is taken into the body that acts as a depressant. No, not all drugs are depressant. It is a substance taken into the body that affects chemical reactions in the body. Yes, it does affect chemical reactions in the body. A substance taken into the body to cure illness. Not all drugs have the ability to cure illness. A substance taken into the body to kill bacteria. Neither all drug can kill bacteria. So for question number 28, option B. The diagram shows half a flower. Which row identifies the parts of the flower? So we can see Q, which is the stigma. Now you see, a question like this can be easily answered with techniques. P is anther. So since Q is stigma, the only option with Q being stigma is A. P is anther and R is style and S is ovary. So option A is the correct answer. The diagram shows the human male reproductive system. What are structures PQR? Now the Q is urethra, we are very sure about it. All right, and P is sperm duct and R is testis. So R being testis, all right, and Q is urethra, the option is A. P is sperm duct, so option is A. Which method of birth control would also help to protect against HIV? To protect against HIV, we need a barrier method, and the barrier method must not allow any mixing of bodily fluids. So condom is the right choice. Contraceptive pill is a chemical method. Diaphragm is a barrier method, but it allows mixture of fluids. IOD also is a chemical method, so option A is the only correct answer. Which word describes nuclear division to produce genetically identical cell? Now, genetically identical cells are not produced by fertilization. All right. Mitosis. Mitosis, all right, is the nuclear division to produce genetically identical cells. So option D is the correct answer. The diagram shows a family tree. Some individuals have inherited a genetic condition. Grandparents, parents, children. Which statement about the grandparents is correct? As we can see, the grandparents did not have the disease, but their children have the disease. So definitely they must be carrier. Each carries two recessive alleles for this condition. No, then they would have the disease themselves. Each carries only one recessive allele for this condition. Yes, they are each carrier. So only the grandmothers are heterozygous. No. Only the grandfathers are heterozygous. Also no. So B, each carries only one recessive allele for this condition, which is why they did not have the disease themselves, but they passed on to their offspring. What is a definition of variation? Having two identical alleles of a particular gene. Now variation is uh, if we have the same identical alleles, that will not result in variation. Individual of the same species in one area. All right. Individual of the same species in one area would be population, not variation. Differences between individual of the same species, yes, that is variation. The way in which the new alleles are formed, no, that is mutation. So 34, option C. Which pyramid of number has more tertiary consumer than producers? More tertiary consumer than producer. So we can see this is the producer, this is the primary consumer, secondary consumer, and tertiary consumer. So tertiary consumer then producer is option A. The diagram represents part of the carbon cycle. All right, carbon compounds in animals are turning carbon dioxide in air. So definitely it will be respiration. Carbon dioxide, carbon compounds in green plants. All right, obviously carbon dioxide in air, so definitely will be respiration. Carbon compounds in green plants going to carbon compounds in animals are basically nutrition or feeding. So Z is feeding, Y is respiration, and X is also respiration. So option B is the correct answer. Question 37. The diagram shows part of a food web. What is most likely to decrease the size of frog population? Well, fewer badgers means frog population will increase. Fewer slugs. Since slug is one of the food for frog, obviously decrease in slug will decrease frog number. More plants should increase technically. More worms should also increase. So B is the correct answer. Genes can be inserted into crop plants to make them resistant to herbicides. Which process is this an example of? All right, genes can be inserted. So when we insert gene from one organism to another organism, we call it genetic engineering. So also option B is the correct answer. Lichens are organisms that do not grow well in polluted air. Which graph shows the change in the number of lichen species from the center of a polluted city to the unpolluted countryside 15 kilometers away? So unpolluted countryside, it must increase in numbers. So option C is the only place where the number of lichens increases in number. So C is the correct answer. Question number 40. Three human activities are listed: burning fossil fuels, deforestation, replanting forest. Which activities can cause the change shown in the graph? Carbon dioxide concentration of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere increases. Now replantation of forest will decrease that. So deforestation and burning of fossil fuel. 1 and 3 are correct. So option B. Guys, thank you for joining the class. If you like what we were doing about solving the question paper, please go in the comment and write down which question paper you want to solve us next, and we will definitely try and solve that particular question paper. Please like the channel, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for joining the class. Bye bye.